Hey, the better rifle. Drop the gun! Oh, shit! I'm hit. I'm okay. But I'm not gonna die.
He came up with the raccoon was like the team mascot.
Mascot.
Because raccoons are, awake during the day and the night, and they're kind of criminal, mischievous, part hunter, part scavenger.
Yeah.
So that was our team mascot.
We encountered some raccoons one night up by Garces. It was a prowler call, and we get there, and sure enough, it was 3 raccoons, and those things are like as big as a medium-sized dog in person.
Big old fat ones.
Yeah, and they just looked at us like, what are you going to do about it?
They do the thing where they stand up and put both arms out.
No, but they kept walking and looking back at us.
Yeah.
And walking and looking back like, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I went to a call in Silver Creek one time where it was raining real hard, and it was like this people's house. It was like there was a leak in the ceiling, and it was like dripping through. And a raccoon was hiding in the attic from the rain, and it was walking on the sheetrock, and it fell through this like fat, like 40-pound fat raccoon. It fell through the ceiling and it landed on this lady's bed. And like a call goes for service comes out. They're like for a raccoon in the house. I'm like, what the fuck? Like first of all, that sounds like it's fake. And second, like how is this a police matter? Like,
right.
Whatever. But it's like a shift 5, so he goes zipping over there, and Jeremy Walter gets on the radio and he's like, affirmative on a raccoon.
A raccoon.
A raccoon. Yeah, so we had to like get a broom, like in Forrest Gump.
Hell yeah.
And shoo it out the
Mama
window.
just chased them off with the broom. Not raccoons. And then he says the N-word.
Yeah.
We had one of those with a snake, and these people were like, there's a rattlesnake somewhere in our living room, right? And so we were like, yeah, right. There's no rattlesnake inside your house, And sure enough, me and Steve Wilson walk in there. We hear this. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So
Kind of burn that place down.
So we, me and Steve, being the guys with the guns and the badges, and we're tough. We go in there, and you guys stay back. We got this, the family. And so as we're looking around, the family starts creeping in because they want to see, what we find. Mm-hmm. And Steve pushes over this little sofa table, and sure as shit, there's a rattlesnake under that thing. And I don't like snakes at all. And I jumped about 6 feet high in the air, and I took off running, and I beat the family out the door.
Yeah.
Well, so somebody got a shovel, and they killed it, and this is back when we had Polaroid cameras. Yeah. So I've got a Polaroid of me holding this rattlesnake up, because like I hunted the thing and caught it. Yeah, it was like a trophy.
Like a trophy
shot?
shot?
But little do they know that like I was a little bitch, and I ran out of that room faster than anybody else could.
Yeah, I ran out. That's funny.
Yeah.
Welcome to Badges, Bullets, and Blenders. I'm the host, Travis Harless. Before we get started, if you'd like to support this podcast, go check out our friends at Slick Sleeves Syndicate. Never forget where you came from. Today's guest is my friend Gary Carruesco. Gary was a police officer at a police department in California for how long?
24 years total between 2 departments.
Nice. All right, Gary. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long were you a police officer? What were some of the assignments you worked and all that?
Yeah, so...
one more.
Go ahead.
Before. What'd you do before you were a cop?
So... my path to law enforcement was kind of weird. Like it was never on my radar. Uh-huh. I grew up as a farmer's kid, and I thought I was going to be a farmer, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to college
for
ag related, business, and I went on a ride along one day with my uncle in Stockton, who's a sergeant in San Joaquin County, and so I thought, like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, in one night, we got to drive fast, turn the lights and siren on. He pulled his gun. We got free soda at 7-Eleven. I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah.
So
free Big Gulp?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's like what I took Anthony that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's nothing better, right? Like, and so I came home and I told my dad, like, I want to be a cop. And I remember him being like super disappointed in me. Like, you want to do what? I'm like, yeah, Dad, like, they give you a free car and tires and gas and insurance, and they tell you to go out and, take people's freedom. And like, if you have to, you take their life. And so I was hooked, right? That one ride along is what hooked me. And that's funny about life. Like there's, sometimes one little event will change your whole, trajectory and career.
So did you grow up there in Northern California?
I did till I was like 14, and then we moved down here,
southern Central Valley.
Yeah, kind of did the same thing, but yeah. So I applied. I think I was like 20 and a half at the time, So I applied for a reserve academy. So I got into the reserve academy at the sheriff's office, and it's an abbreviated academy, but they still teach you quite a bit. And
How
I
does
got
that
out.
work?
What's that?
How does that reserve academy work?
So it's like all the learning domains, all the topics are very similar, but shortened, I guess. So instead of
Condensed.
like a typical 5-6 month academy, it was like maybe 3 months.
And
But
then
all the
like a
same things.
reserve, there's like reserve level 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah, so,
there's different levels of reserve, and each one's allowed, like
Oh.
authorized a certain level of what they're allowed to do.
So I didn't even apply locally at the department I ended up working for many years, but another one nearby, and I became a level 2 reserve, and it was so much fun. I worked so many hours, and after like 250 hours, then you earn your level 1 certificate.
Okay.
And level 1 allows you to work by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're a solo patrol officer.
A level 1 reserve is like the equivalent of a regular officer.
Yeah,
Right?
same thing, except you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Right. So,
That's wild.
but yeah, I mean, you still get to do all the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so I worked for that agency as a level 1 reserve officer for a couple of years, and then I had applied at the sheriff's office, the highway patrol, and the other local agency that I ended up working for, and I got denied at highway patrol.
Yeah.
I had an academy date. I had a roommate. I had my uniforms, and they said, "Oh no, there's something in your medical background we don't like." So I was like heartbroken, because it was like the first organization I applied for.
How old are you at this time?
21.
Okay.
Yeah. So then like simultaneously I applied for the other 2 agencies, and they both called me within a week of each other. And actually the sheriff's office called first. And I remember telling the recruiter, like, man, I'm waiting for the other agency to call. They're supposed to, from what I hear. And he was cool about it. He was like, okay, we'll give it a week. And if they don't call for some reason, come back, we'll take you. And so the other agency called, and there I go. So this was 1997.
Okay.
So I go into the academy and come out.
So you had to go through the whole academy again.
Yeah, so they went through the full academy at that point, right? And a lot of it was kind of a repeat of what I'd already learned, and I had some experience, so a lot of it kind of made sense as I was going through, but a lot more detailed and involved. Come out, go through the FTO, and I got assigned to. I was working like downtown Baker Street. Actually, was like my first assignment. And so I worked that for a few months, and then I got a call from one
Working
of the
days or nights? Or
nights,
afternoons?
yeah, midnights, right? That's where all the real cops go at first. Yeah, so I get a call, and so backing up a little bit, like I was on the radio a lot. Like I chased people and stolen cars, and I was getting guns, and so I think people kind of knew who I was, maybe for like some of the wrong reasons in the beginning, but my name was floating around out there, and one of the guys that was working out off Cottonwood, he had a partner, and she ended up having to go on light duty. And so I get a call from the sergeant, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go work a 2-man car with this officer out there?" And it was District 9-1 is what it was called.
That
Cottonwood.
was right after we annexed that area, right?
Yeah. So
So-
the sheriff's office had it for a long time.
They had it for forever until like late 90s, right?
Yeah.
And then we annexed it.
So we
Like the
annexed
Wild
it.
West out there.
It was, and it was
yeah,
a
I heard it
place-
was really troublesome after it was annexed.
It was crazy, and it was a place where not many people wanted to go because it was so far away.
Yeah.
At night, it was really dark.
Yeah.
And it was always colder, and not many people like were familiar with it. But the guy that I went and worked with, he had worked there for maybe like a year, and so he knew like all the ins and outs. And I'll never forget, day one with him, I was nervous because I'd heard about this area,
Yeah.
but never experienced it. And so as we're driving out, he's telling me how to survive in District 9-1. And I'm like, I mean, he used that word like survive. And I'm like, wait, what,
It's
is
training
it that
day?
bad? Yeah. So he goes, when we turn onto this specific street, somebody will run
Yeah.
and I'll stop and we will chase them.
Yeah.
And we always run together. And I remember that. We always run together. Okay. I'm not kidding you. We turned onto Melwood Street and somebody ran.
It was like he was a psychic.
Oh, it's like he knew. And we chased him, and I was like, man, this dude's amazing. Like, how is he so smart?
Yeah.
So like a few weeks into this, we get in a foot pursuit of somebody and we catch them and we bring them back to the patrol car and this other officer goes in the house where the guy came from because he assumes that, you know, he dumped something in the house. And so I've got the guy out in the street and I'm holding him by his handcuffs. And so Jim's in the house with the door closed and the guy does one of these numbers and turns the handcuffs and pinches my thumb
Shit.
and breaks free. And he starts running down the street in my handcuffs.
Yeah.
So all I remember is he said, "Don't run unless he's with me."
Yeah.
And so I'm yelling, "Jim,
Yeah.
Jim!" Like he opens the door. He's like, "What?" And I go, "He's running." He's like, "Well, chase him."
Yeah.
So anyway, so we chase him, and he goes into a backyard where there's like a 6-foot fence, and he just stops and turns around like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
He ain't got
You know?
no hands.
Yeah. But the funniest thing, you know, like I'm yelling at him for like I'm a little kid, like, Dad,
Dad.
like he's running. What do I do?
Can I go get
you know,
him?
Yeah,
Can I go get?
chase him. You
I
know,
get to
so-
see Jim like, well, chase him, dummy.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
why didn't I think of that?
so that officer gets reassigned to like some community policing detail that they were starting out.
Jim
with.
did?
Jim did, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jim and Scott. Still in the same areas, but community police basing, right? So I get a new partner, Steve, and he came from an agency a big agency down south.
Yeah.
So he was still on probation, I think, and I was right at the tail end of mine, and they're going to put us together out here. And so we start driving out there, and I'm thinking, well, he comes from that agency. He's a guy squared away, dialed in, you know. And I find myself telling him, I'm going to tell you how to survive out here, and you know, and
That's how we do
we're
it
going
out
to
here in the
turn on to this street, and we're going to turn on the other street, and it's going to scatter, and we're going to chase them, and it's just what's going to happen because that's how it is out here, right?
Yeah.
So we turn on that same street, nobody runs. And I'm like, no,
No,
like,
I'm a
I was
liar.
looking forward to it, you know,
Yeah.
and he's all jacked up, you know, thinking
Yeah.
that that's what's going to happen. Nobody ran. So, you know, I felt like a failure that first day with him, but we were partners for a long time after that, you know, in the gang unit. But
That's funny.
yeah, so
Jim
you know,
called it, but you didn't.
yeah. So, you know, fast forward, we worked together for about a year out there, and we had heard that they were starting up this new unit called SEU, the Special Enforcement Unit. And it was going to be a gang enforcement detail. And they didn't really have a like a uniformed gang enforcement detail.
Yeah.
At least, you know, when I came on, they had a undercover intelligence gathering group called the SOBs.
SOB, yeah.
And so
what did that stand for?
Special Operations Bureau. Yeah.
Not the other thing.
No.
Okay.
I mean, there were a lot of those other things in there, but yeah, that's not what it stood for. But so a bunch of old school guys that you never saw them, but if you saw the little silver or white, you know, minivan go through the parking lot, you knew there was like 7 dudes loaded in that thing ready
Yeah.
to jump
Jump
out and
out.
get somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about all you ever saw of them. You heard about them, but so so we'd heard about this unit, and everybody thought, man, it'd be so cool to be involved in that. And you know, one day I get a call from the sergeant, hey, we're starting this new unit, and we think you'd be a great fit.
What year is this? Like 99?
This is 99, yeah. So July of 1999.
Okay. Is this right after the Castelluma Park shooting?
Just before. Yeah.
really?
So I think that was in August of 99. And
Oh,
we had
wow. So you
started-
guys
yeah.
were up for a month when that went down.
Yeah, a whole bunch of brand new baby cops, and like, as far as the people that are still there, Greg Terry and Chris Viola were both original SEU, right? And
Okay.
there was like 6 of us,
Yeah.
and a couple of SPs, and they kept some of the SOBs.
Yeah.
And they sent the other ones back to patrol.
Okay.
So, yeah, Castelluma Park happened literally a month later.
Tell us about
and,
that real quick.
we were sitting in the office, had the radio on, and we hear it go out. You know, it just went out like as a shooting. And so, you know, as the seconds clicked by, like, and people started to show up, you could tell it was bad, you know, and the dispatchers were getting more information and multiple victims, AK-47 style rifles. And we were like, oh my God, so we're the gang unit, let's go. We all race out there, and it's just a sea of people. And I think there ended up being 8 victims and like 4 or 5, fatalities,
Mm-hmm.
and a few of them like right there, at the park, and it was
for
super
during a
obvious.
wake, correct? Like a funeral.
Yeah,
They're having
it
a
was
wake for a funeral at the park, and then some gangsters rolled by and lit it up with a couple of AKs.
Yeah, just
And,
chaos, and I mean, these people that were dead were obviously dead.
Yeah.
And there were some other people that were being loaded in the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember 2 officers shutting the ambulance doors and literally standing on the back of the ambulance, holding on with one hand and swinging the baton in the other, fighting off the people that were trying to get to the victims in the ambulance because it was family. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then we ended up catching those guys
Yeah.
a while later. And but there were kids that shot the park up.
Yeah. They were juveniles.
Yeah.
The
Just trying to-
gangsters though, like rival
Yeah.
gangsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said Crip gangsters shooting up a
And
country,
what was the wake?
a country
Country boy Crip
Yeah.
got killed. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of the first experience we had as a group,
Yeah.
and it was
And that kickstarted our local gang unit into like high gear.
it really did. And when I describe it to somebody, I feel like we were full throttle for 4 years, the 4 years that I was in there, and it's like it never let up. It was not uncommon and to work 15, 18-hour days, a week or 2 straight. And we didn't know any better. We were all young. And I tell you what, though, the sergeants that were in our unit were right there beside us. It's not like they took time off.
Yeah.
They worked just as much as we did, so they really set a good example. But I'll never forget, so day 1 in the gang unit, we had heard about these SOB guys, and we knew that some of them were staying. And I mean, these were like old school guys that you hear stories about, like real thumpers.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of nervous already. And so I go in and I sit at a desk, and 15 minutes later, this guy comes through the door, and I'll call him Jim. And you can tell he's pissed. And I'm like, who's this guy? And I recognize who he actually is. And I'm like, oh my God, that's that guy that we hear about, and like terrified of that guy.
Yeah.
And he walks up to me and he looks down at me and he's like, "Are you Carruesco?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "First of all, you're in my desk. Secondly, let's go. You're my partner." And I'm like, oh, this is how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Right? I need to rethink my decision. So as we're walking out to the car, he turns around and he goes, "Don't you even think about asking to drive." Okay. You got it. So we leave the parking lot and we go. He liked the West Side Crip territory, like over off our street, like one of his favorite spots. Mm-hmm. So we go cruising down our street and he doesn't say anything the whole time. And I don't know, I'm probably shaking because I'm so nervous. And we pull around to this house around the corner and there's like 8 West Side Crips standing out there.
Yeah.
And he pulls right up to him. And of course, one takes off running.
Yeah.
And all he says is, "Get him." Okay. So I go get him, and I run through the crowd of guys and run into the backyard, only to find that this guy, he was breeding pit bulls.
Nice.
Oh,
Right?
damn.
And ghetto pit bulls are different than normal pit bulls, right?
Yeah.
Their heads are huge, their necks are huge, and they're all on these huge giant chains. Well, I'm running down the little pathway, and it's like something you'd see on Indiana Jones where, they're jumping at me, but they can't quite get me. Yeah. And I don't know how, like, they missed me, because there's like 8 of them. And I get past them.
Like Mario, there's that flower monster on the chain. They
That's
can
exactly
only
what it was.
get so
Plants.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah. They couldn't quite reach me, but thank God, because they probably would have just killed me. They're mean. So I get past them, and the guy, he trips over a fence, and it gave me enough time to kind of catch up. And so we both, like, I tackle him, and the dirt that I tackled him was in like that white, silty, little light dirt.
moon dust.
Yeah, exactly. And so it kind of just goes poof, and as he's falling, he throws a big bag of rock cocaine, and there's a canal behind the house. And so I put him in handcuffs, and I looked down, and the canal was moving so slowly that I was able to hold him in one hand, reach down and grab the bag of rock cocaine in the other hand.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm walking out, and I walk out the other side this time where the dogs aren't. And by that time, Jim is standing there, and he's got his arms folded, and he's looking like this, and he's leaning up against the car, and some of the other older guys had gotten there. And I walk up, and I hand him, and I'm white, and he's white from the moon dust.
Yeah.
And I hand the guy to another officer, and Jim goes, "You'll do." And that was it. And we were like best friends after that. Like, it's like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah, you passed the test?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know if he set me up or what, but I guess I passed because, we did pretty well together after that.
He
This is
training dayed you.
So this is a different gym.
A different Jim. Yeah. The first Jim was, he and I worked together in that other agency when I was a reserve. He was an actual cop.
Yeah.
And he did some training with me, and there was a lot of crossover between officers in that department and ours. So yeah, different Jim, but
Is one of these gyms the one that we had on the podcast?
Jim Ramos?
yeah,
Which one is which?
Jim Ramos is the one that the second Jim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That
Okay,
sounds like,
yeah.
that sounds
Checks
like
out.
him.
Yeah.
Checks out, yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
him.
Jim is the other Jim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I tell you what, the first Jim, like that guy taught me kind of how to be a cop.
Yeah.
Like you go out into Cottonwood, Lakeview area, and it's survival, right? Especially in those times, and
Yeah.
it probably still is. I don't know, but he taught me a lot of things that probably saved me from getting hurt or killed. So after the gang unit, like there was a point in my career after like 4 years, I was like, I got to get out. I've had enough. I can't take much of this anymore.
4 years is a long time.
It is
It was a long time. And
Yeah, I did 3 years and I was burned out.
yeah,
By the time
and I think anybody who's had an opportunity to experience a detail like that can relate. You get burnt out pretty quickly, and so I went back to patrol, and the sergeant goes, "Hey, you're coming out of SEU. Give you first choice of where you want to go." And I said, "Put me as far northwest as you possibly can."
I did the exact same thing.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so at the time, it was Rosedale was District 16. It was called.
Yeah.
So I was afternoon 16 car out in Rosedale, and it was like, wow, like these people are so nice.
You hear the
out
birds
here.
singing.
They give me a bottle of water, and I actually will take it. And
Yeah.
houses have color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an experience. But after 6 months, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I got to go back.
Yeah.
It's like in your blood at that point.
You can only have deal with the niceness
Yeah.
for so long.
Like,
This
I
is
don't know how many
weird.
stolen water hoses
Yeah.
can you try to find?
I did the same thing. When I got out of the gang unit, I went to the same area. It was called District 2 or Beat 2 or whatever, and I worked the day shift for 6 months. And yeah, it was like, I remember like people would pull up and like they'd like flag you down, and I remember you think like, what do they want? Like roll the window down, and they'd just be like, "Thank you for your service." And then I'm like, "Man, I'm an asshole."
Right? Yeah.
Like, man, what are they
Because I'm
gonna
thinking
do?
to myself
Supposed
like,
to say something, but
yeah, I'm thinking to myself like, "Dang it, what do they want?" And then like, "Oh, just to say like, hey, thanks."
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I'm a jerk.
You'd be waiting at a restaurant, and then all of a sudden, the person in front of you just pays for your food.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's nice.
That was weird.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
That was
And you're
weird.
like, this is way too nice. I need some more hostility.
Yeah.
I'm going back.
I gotta go
Yeah.
back.
I
It's
need-
like
I
the
need-
guys that go back to the desert, because they can't acclimate in the real world.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I cruised around as like a slick sleeve patrolman for a while, and then they started this thing called Shift 6, and it was kind of like an extra shift, right?
Yeah.
Where we overlapped. It was kind of a directed enforcement, kind of what DPU became.
Yep.
What's DPU?
Directed
Directed
policing
It's
unit.
kind of like the modern, or the old First Impact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not subject to calls, I'm guessing, or were you? And just,
So it's kind of like yes and no.
yes and no. Okay.
Depending on who the dispatchers were that night.
Yeah.
Some knew who we were and what we did, and they left us alone. But others used us, for, and there were calls that we just cleared up because we had extra time.
Mostly like special projects, I'm guessing.
That's exactly what it was. If there was a problem, and a city council member had an issue, we would go. But so then got in a little bit of trouble as a slick sleeve, and I kind of got knocked backwards.
Yeah.
I got suspended. I think I hold the record for days of suspension. I might. It was in total. It was 7 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, split up like in 3 different incidents.
Nice.
So
Record time.
yeah, so I'm proof that you can
Yeah,
survive.
you can bounce
things
back.
like that. You just got to go in there and say, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, well, it's funny when people get in trouble for things, and I'll tell them this. They'll get dinged up for whatever thing that they did, and be kind of down and depressed. I'm like, dude, just wait till like next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
someone else is going to do something just as bad or worse, and they're going to completely forget about you.
Gonna steal your thunder.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Just wait till next week's episode.
Yeah. For me, it didn't seem like it went that way. I don't know. It seemed like it was like years.
They probably saw you and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be on my P's and Q's.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be like that guy. Yeah. Well, so in that time, you know how like in Top Gun, like Tom Cruise pisses off admirals.
Yeah.
That was me with captains and lieutenants.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was just something about me that they didn't like, and I pissed a lot of them off.
You just buzz in the tower.
Yeah, too often apparently. Yeah,
Too many flybys.
Too many. Yeah. So at one point, I became the desk officer, and there's always a desk officer.
Yeah.
But it's not a permanent assignment.
Yeah, it's like you do it for a week, and then the next guy does it.
Yeah, and it's not punishment.
Yeah.
But the needs of the department dictate that you're going to be the desk officer for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
that's why you always like it when you're working the day shift and someone gets in trouble or whatever, and they get put as the permanent desk officer, because then now I don't got to work it.
Yeah. And I was the shift 3 desk officer.
Okay.
Which was great because the desk would close at 7 when the lobby closed. Mm-hmm. So from 7 to 11, the lieutenant was like, I don't care what you do. You just can't go 10-8. Can't go on patrol. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So I would just go do whatever, I would leave the department.
Yeah.
But because I didn't like the little house mouses that were always around there. I didn't want to be them. So, and I know I told this story in the beginning, but so 6 months after I'm on the desk, shift change is coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, should I put in a shift bid? Because I thought I was only on it for 6 months. And so the captain, he's like, well, let's go ask the assistant chief, So we walk down there and he goes, hey, Gary's on the desk and shift bid's coming. And, he wonders if he should put in a shift bid. I mean, it's a logical question, right?
Yeah.
And the assistant chief just comes unglued. And he's like, I told you were on that desk for 6 months, and I would tell you when you were coming off. So guess what? You're on it for another 6 months.
Nice.
And so, me being me, and my mouth got me in trouble more than anything, over the years.
Is that all you got?
So, so I said to him, so that's a no on the shift bid? And I was quickly, escorted out of the office by the captain. And, he's like, your timing was horrible there, but
nice.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
So
the calculation, man, it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like, he already put me on the desk for another 6 months. So what's he going to do to me?
Chew you out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been chewed out before.
So, I mean, I can add desk officer, to my resume.
To your resume, yeah.
And then
1 year of desk
they felt
officer.
so bad for me. Like, the lieutenant felt so bad for me that I got put on it again. He's like, hey, would you like to do a few days, like, in the property room? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, sure, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So, like, a couple of days out of the week, my work week, I went to the property room. And I did property room stuff, and that was really chill. So I can add that, right? So eventually my enemies, retired and moved on, and I was back in the good graces. And so I went to traffic. I rode a motor, DUI car.
How long had you been an officer by this point?
I think this was 2006, 7, somewhere in there.
So 8-9 years.
Yeah.
So
it took a while.
Did 7 weeks of suspension, a year of desk duty, and then
I don't know if you have to take that time off of my total time. They didn't on my plaque.
No, yeah.
So
I still count it towards.
I kept it.
Yeah, still counts.
Keep that in your resume. Yeah. And then you come out from under the thumb and you go to traffic.
Yeah, so I go to traffic and they're like, "You want to ride a motor, correct?" And I rode dirt bikes all my life, and I was scared to death of these big street bikes. And I'm like, "Well, of course I do. Yeah. Put me on one." So I hated every day of riding that motorcycle. Mm-hmm. It was like every day you almost got killed twice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I did it. And then I promoted to senior, in that time period. I was a pilot. I'm a pilot. And so I got to work in one of those special details.
For the narcotics unit?
Yeah. Up in the air, flying and observing.
As a pilot or observer?
Both.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
what'd you fly?
What's that?
What'd you fly?
The
department has a plane.
It's like what is it, like a Cessna or something like
that? It's called a Belanca Scout, little tail dragger, tandem, like front to back. Mm-hmm. nothing sophisticated. Like we literally had binoculars,
Yeah.
pretty high speed binoculars, and
you just look out the side, right?
yeah, you
Looking
just
down.
looked out the side and you try to pick out something on the car that you could recognize, you know, and then follow that from that point forward. But we went down to LA a lot,
Yeah.
or up north or the Bay Area, and forget it. The ground units really had to come in, but
Yeah.
and then as the pilot, you know, you're just flying in circles. For
And also
6,
you
7
don't,
hours.
there's no, like you said, low tech, you're just looking out of the window with binos. So you have to know the streets
Yeah,
in order to like tell the ground units what they're following.
yeah, and sometimes they weren't that far back.
Yeah.
But they were far enough back where they wouldn't be seen.
Yeah.
And many times it was easier just to look out the window from 4,000 feet than it was to try to use these binoculars.
Yeah.
You know, and then a couple times we got to use the hydroplane, you know, sheriff's office plane.
Yeah.
And that thing's all sophisticated, high speed. And it was like,
9-day difference.
This is so nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
So was that a full-time assignment or was that?
no,
like
it was just kind of an
collaborating?
ancillary duty where when they needed us, when they needed me, there was only a few of us, right? So they would call us out. Remember when the deputies got shot out in the desert?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we went up in our plane on the search for that. We figured out, you know, we weren't doing any good, so we went up in the sheriff's office plane, and we weren't doing any good. So a lot of agencies volunteered their equipment. So Santa Ana PD brought their high-speed plane up, and I mean, huge camera systems, and Border Patrol brought Black Hawks, and I mean, there was right all kinds of equipment. And then we still couldn't find the guy, and finally the FBI said, "We've got a plane for you." And so they said, "Okay, well, we've got an observer for you," and it was me, right? So I'm like, "Oh wow, cool! I get to go work with the FBI and their plane and their jet." And so they gave me a code name, right? And they said, "Be at the airport at this FBO at this time, and this plane's going to pull up. It's not going to have lights on, and you're going to get in the plane. And you're going to tell them who you are, and you're going to get in the plane." I'm like, "Wow, this is crazy, right?"
Yeah.
So sure enough, I'm there, and this plane pulls up, jet, no lights. The dude opens the door. He goes, "You Mr. Black?" And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Come on." Yeah, they couldn't figure out anything cooler than that, you know. So
At least you weren't Mr. Pink.
right,
You know?
yeah, that's true.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, so I get in this plane and it's like, wow, this is crazy. This is the plane that they used like when they were hunting those prison escapees in New York, and they were watching them literally for a couple days. So we fly up to this ridiculous altitude, and the camera comes out the bottom of the plane in a pod, and from 18,000 feet, we could zoom in and read license plates.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how
crazy.
badass this camera was.
So you're 3 miles up in the air and you can
Yeah.
see license plates.
And we still didn't find the guy because
Yeah,
he'd
yeah.
already been gone. But
I was on that. It was in 2015. Yeah, he shot the SWAT deputies when they were making entry on that trailer. Shot them with a 44.
yeah,
Yeah, he had kidnapped those 2 kids and then stole the Razor, crashed it. They reported it stolen, and they thought they were having the feeling like this was a made-up story because they thought the kids just crashed it.
Yeah.
And then like made up a story to excuse the fact they'd crashed it. And then he had kept walking. He killed that dentist out there, that retired dentist, murdered him. And then when they found him dead, they're like, oh, maybe there's something to the story. And then they tracked him to that trailer. They do an entry on it. He shoots the deputy and then escapes at the back. And then it was like a 19-day manhunt.
yeah, he went a long ways.
And the funny thing is all those resources, there was probably 150 people from different federal, state, and local agencies out there. Like you said, all those airplanes and helicopters. And
But you guys were all on foot.
we were on
if I
foot
remember right.
in off-road vehicles. It was a whole thing.
Finding caves and trash. And
jumping down into caves, and that was pretty wild.
because you guys would tell us, you guys would give us a coordinate like, hey, we found, this here. It looks like fresh. And so then we focused on that at night, you know, for hot spots and
Oh, okay, so you guys were up at nighttime.
both.
Yeah. Well, then the way that they caught him is he just walked in. He walked like 40 miles into Inyokern, and he walked into some convenience store. You remember that?
Yeah.
And the clerk recognized him from all the wanted posters and just called 911, and 2 patrol deputies showed up, and they got in a gunfight with him, and he killed him.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's like all those resources, and it was just like a call for service.
Yeah, and he just shows up one day.
Ended the whole thing.
20 days later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to do that. That was a lot of fun. And then I had promoted to senior in traffic for just a short time, and then I got put in the training division. And that was kind of eye opening because that department functions because of, one, the civilian staff, and two, the training division. Hiring and training and uniforms and equipment and things like that, all that funnels through the training division. So that was kind of really eye-opening, and I stayed there for a couple of years. I got promoted to detective, and because I spoke Spanish, they put me in the sex crimes detail.
Oh, that's right.
Directly into the sex crimes detail.
Yeah, that's like the hot spot for Spanish speakers.
Yeah, and so that was,
Yeah, if you're a female detective or Spanish speaker, that's like the go-to.
Yeah, it was like the two most wanted characteristics of a detective at that time. I don't know if it's changed,
for SVU detective.
Yeah.
We're dealing with those kinds of cases.
Yeah, so that was, you're on call, and every weekend you knew that Saturday morning and Sunday morning you were going to get the rape call. I went out, and this guy said he was a doctor, and then I went home with him, and then I got raped. It was very common, but you have to handle a lot of bad stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Like the kid stuff, and
Yeah, that's the worst.
so I did that for about a year, and during this time I had tried out for, don't tell my bomb friends, but I had tried out for the SWAT team, right? And so at one point I passed everything, and I thought I was going to get my SWAT pin because I was told, hey, be here at this time, you're going to get your SWAT pin, and that was one of the times I got in trouble, and I didn't get my SWAT pin, right? So fast forward, and now I'm a detective, and I try out for the bomb squad, and got lucky and made it. So usually, bomb school is, you have to wait like 2 years before you get a slot in bomb school, but like a month in, somebody couldn't go from another agency, and so I got to slide in. So I went to bomb school in Alabama.
6-week class, right?
In August. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like that's when the real men go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got told that, because they gave me an option. Do you want to wait until January when it's cold, or do you want to be a real man and go in August?
Yeah.
So
It's all about the framing.
yeah, they thought us Californians were pretty funny because, it was humid and hot, and we were about dying, and they thought we were all just surfers.
Yeah.
And so that was fun. So I did that for several years. Then I got assigned to internal affairs, which was ironic, for me, because I'd spent a lot of time like on the other side of the desk.
Table,
Yeah. So they probably knew that like nobody could get one over on me because I'd pretty much done it all anyways.
Takes one to know one kind of deal.
Yeah. So, or they could watch me better or something. I don't know what it was, but
it's kind of like the best street cops have like that good criminal kind of mind.
Yeah.
They get those good criminal instincts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a good time. And I tell everybody, like, I enjoyed that time in IA. A lot of people don't like it because they think you have to, investigate your friends and things like that. And I went into it with the mindset of, if they put themselves in that position, shame on them. And, there were times where you knew a complaint was bogus, but you still had to investigate it. However, you could help the officer through it, right? Or whoever it was.
Yep.
And so,
how long were you in IA for?
I was in IA for like a year and a half, not too long. Then I got promoted to sergeant, and that was great. Like, that was the most fun. I got a whole, I think, day and a half of sergeant training.
Yep.
That's
about right.
Then, then the needs of the department said, you have to go out on your own now. So, but everybody always said, if you make it to sergeant, stay.
Yeah.
And now I know why.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice.
Yeah, it was. I got to do that for a while as a street sergeant, and then they made me the public information officer.
Nice.
So, I got to learn how all the news works and speak on behalf of the department, right? And tell the stories that the department wanted to tell, and really developed a good relationship with the news outlets. And it was a fun time. It really, really hones in your public speaking skills, so you're not afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then I got promoted again.
How long were you PIO for?
About 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I got promoted to lieutenant. This is kind of, another area where my career went a different direction. Yeah. But I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's past is past. And
things happen.
I was a lieutenant for about 11 months, and somebody higher than me decided I didn't need to be a lieutenant anymore.
Yeah.
So I wasn't.
So then you weren't.
And that was a kick in the teeth, man. I thought, that one hurt a little bit, because you reach this status in an organization, and you think that you have to maintain that, and your friends help you maintain that status, and so you make friends with people that you think are taking you places, and then sometimes you realize the hard way that they might not be your friends.
What year was that?
So that was 2017.
17,
Yeah.
It was a chaotic time.
It was different. Yeah.
That time, the 2017 to 2020.
There were some people that were in power that are no longer with us or around.
There was a bunch of turnover over those years.
Yeah. So you know what? Whatever. I took it on the chin. Went back to my shift as a sergeant, and the first thing I said was, "Hey, elephant in the room, man. Like last week I was your lieutenant. This week I'm your sergeant."
Oh, were you on the same shift? They didn't move you to a different shift?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah. And so I felt like I gained more respect from the troops just by going into it with that attitude. And they're like, yeah, rock on. We liked you as a sergeant better anyways.
That's interesting they didn't move you. That's like kind of an added, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But so anyways, man, I over the years, like I had opportunities to work almost every detail. There were only 2 that I didn't work. Like I was never undercover in narcotics, which I always wanted to do, but never got a chance. And I didn't work as a canine. I never wanted to, but those things, I don't like them. They're mean. They smell.
Yeah. And they bite.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing good ever comes out of those things.
No. I mean, they're good, great tools, but it's not for me either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is, I definitely don't want to be on a motorcycle, and I don't want to be anywhere near the biting dogs.
Yeah, there's guys out there that like they love those motorcycles. I mean, there's one he was on a motorcycle when I was still there, and he's still on a motorcycle. He loves it. Yeah. But it's kind of neat to see the evolution of the department and people over the years.
So then you retired after that, right? So how long were you a sergeant again?
So only about a couple months, and then I retired. The retirement process is kind of long, so. I left fully in 2019.
Okay.
And I had already gone into real estate while I was still there.
So you're doing real estate on this part-time while you were working full-time as an officer.
And so I remember on FTO, one of my FTOs said, hey, always have a backup plan. I didn't know what that really meant until I retired with my backup plan.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll get into real estate now. I'll work until I'm 50, and then I'll be established in real estate. I'll just pivot right in, right? Well, that came sooner than later.
Yeah.
And thank God it's worked out for us. We've had some success, and
so you've been full-time real estate for the last 6 years.
Yeah, since 2019.
Nice.
Started our own company in 2020, Brimhall Realty.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got several people that work underneath us under our license, and it's.
How do people find you if they're interested in selling a house?
Yeah, so we've got a really cool website, brimhallrealty.com, or you can just call me 661-378-5066.
There you go
for all your real estate needs.
Nice. Yeah, we built a house back in 2021, and you got us into our rental. We were there for a year. Really helped us out. So man, over those 24 years, like had an opportunity to meet a lot of good people, right? And a lot of good stories have come out of those interactions, and some of the funniest moments in my life, are kind of in that SEU time period working in the gang unit. One of the guys who's a reoccurring name that comes up, Bobby Woolard, called the Mongo. Yeah. And you had a good one about Mongo and playing Pictionary.
Oh, yeah. So I'll preface this by saying, we didn't hire Mongo. I'll call him Matt for his
smarts.
brains. Yeah, I mean, he wrote his reports in crayon, but he was really big and strong.
Yeah, everyone's got a different skill set.
Yeah, so we had problems with these West Side Crips, and they were always getting one over on us, and it was like a game, like sometimes they would win and sometimes we would win. So one night, we go to this problem complex, and sure enough, we failed. We didn't get them, and so we got this idea where me and Mongo are going to stay back because we had caused all this chaos, and all the attention was focused out in the street. So me and Mongo stayed back, and we laid underneath this car. It was an old broken down car.
Yep.
Like underneath it?
Well, so I was up under the front tire, and he was in front of the back tire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably halfway underneath, but our little legs were sticking out. And So after all the guys left, all the people that we had chased off originally kind of came back. You know, they were filtering back in,
Trying to see if the coast was clear.
Yeah, and so we hear them coming back down this corridor toward us, and we can see their legs and feet, and they stopped. These two guys stopped, and one guy, he's making these throw up sounds, and we're like, "What in the world?" You know, we're thinking, "What in the world?" And the other guy's hitting him on the back, and he's like, "Get it up, man, get it up." Well, you know, they'd swallow their drugs when we'd show up, and he was trying to throw it back up.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then another one starts walking back, and the whole time, Matt, he's kicking me. He's close enough where he can kick me, and I'm like, why are you kicking me? And what he was trying to signal to me was, let's get out of here, you know. And I'm just laying there waiting, like, for the right moment. Yeah. And so he's kicking me, and he kicks me a couple times, and then these other dudes start walking back, and the one guy says, "Hey, where'd you throw the gun?" And he goes, "Right back here in the corner." And we were like, "Uh-oh, like it's time, time to go." So he gives me one swift boot, you know, and we come flying out, and you know, we were on a different channel at the time, so we tell our troops to like move in. So now they're blocked in on the front. They're blocked. We had set perimeters, like we thought this through. And the guy had just picked up the gun, and as I come out the front, I look over and shine my light on him, and he's throwing it over the fence. Yeah, it's like, whoa, that was pretty close, right? So that's not even the best part of the story. But fast forward to we go to court.
I wonder if did he get the rock out? So when he was able to throw it up? Matt
describes it as hearing a splat on the ground, you know, because it was a big chunk of rock. Nice. So yeah, he did. So so it was a typical gang case where you arrest everybody, and there's 20 charges on the FAD. Yeah. You know, so we go to court, and when Matt testified, you kind of never knew like
what was going to come out
Matt
of his mouth.
You were going to get. Yeah. And so the defense attorney says, I'm not quite understanding where you say you were. Can you draw it on this piece of paper? And there was an easel with a, 4x3 sheet of paper.
Like a big one?
Big one, yeah.
Oh,
so
like 4 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah, a big one.
For the jury to kind of see.
Some markers. And I'll never forget, it was a blue marker and a purple marker. And so Matt goes, sure. So he gets up there and he draws what looks like a car, kind of.
Yeah.
And he draws these stick figures where we were. Mm-hmm. And then he looks at the guy, and the guy's like, so how were you guys communicating? And he says, well, we were tapping feet. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, and he starts drawing arrows from like 1 foot to the other. Yeah. And the guy's like, I don't get it. You were close enough. And he's like, yes, I was close enough. Look. And he's drawing, and he's getting mad because the guy doesn't understand. And he's starting to circle things. And pretty soon, like there's there's this blob of purple and black. And you know how like when your dog hears a funny noise, they go like this, That was the jury. And they're confused as well. And finally the defense attorney goes, I don't think I have any other questions. And the judge goes, was that a question, or are you saying? Yeah. And he's like, no, I don't have any more questions. So Matt, before he leaves, right, before he goes back into the table, he signs it like it's a Picasso, right? And I mean, this was more like if Bob Ross was blind and had a seizure. That's what it looked like. What like when your 5-year-old comes home and they drew something and they're like, Daddy, will you put it on the fridge? That's exactly what this looked like.
He looked at the jury like, these are happy accidents.
Yeah. Happy accidents.
Signs it. Yeah. And that it worked out. Like they were convicted, but nice. But that was one of the funniest things.
Yeah. Playing Pictionary.
And so, he's like, Matt's the guy that, like, if you're going to battle, or you're going to do a search warrant or go downrange on a bomb or something, like, that's the dude you want. Yeah. But if you're going to play Pictionary, like, that's not the dude you're going to choose right there.
He's getting picked last.
Yeah.
First for dodgeball, last for Pictionary. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. All right. You told us to talk about Captain Jackson. This is before my time.
Yeah. So this was, we're a pretty new SEU, and like I said, Greg Terry, your chief, he was original SEU, and Matt and another guy that we'll call T-Con, they had found this Harley Davidson motorcycle in a shop in the back lot of the the police department. And they thought it'd be funny to take a picture on it, like the Dumb and Dumber where they were hugging each other, So they put on these big helmets and they take a picture of one another.
Is this a police motorcycle?
It was a seizure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We didn't know it was there, but they found it somehow. Well, Matt was he was a motorcycle guy. He rode a Yamaha, and his wife actually had a Harley. But
Nice.
yeah, so, but the Yamaha looked like a Harley.
It looked like one.
Yeah, it sounded a little bit like it, but not quite. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ride motorcycles, but I know that's like
Yeah,
a.
it was still enough to like.
That's some shade right there.
Yeah.
Still enough to look cool, but like you knew in the back of your mind it's still a Yamaha, right? So
Yeah, but the thing about Yamahas is that thing's gonna run.
forever. Yeah, I didn't have one.
Unlike
so I
a
can't
Harley.
s-
Yeah.
I can't say anything. But so, anyways, we're sitting in the office one day, and all of us were in there, and I had come in, and when I walked in the door, sitting on the table right by the door was a box of cupcakes, and I thought, oh my gosh, like somebody made us cupcakes. That's so nice of them. So I pick them up and I take them in the office. About 5 minutes later, we hear this like bang, 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 like on the door, like somebody's doing a search warrant on our office, and somebody opens it and it's Captain Jackson. And if you didn't know Captain Jackson, he was like, I mean, at the time I think he was probably 55 or, he looked older, but 6'2", just buff, bald head, cool mustache, polished boots. He was that guy that you just a cop,
the
yeah.
archetype old captain.
Yeah, he was that guy. Nicest guy in the world, but the most intimidating. Like when we were brand new and he was walking through the hallway, we literally would back up to the wall and let him go by. Because that's what we thought we had to do for that guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, the first thing he says is, Matt, how would you like it if I went and sat on your little bitch bike? and Matt's like, excuse me? And he's like, how would you like it if I came over to your house and I sat on your little bitch bike? And he's like, well, I guess I don't know if I'd like it or not. And so he goes, well, then what makes you think that you can sit on my motorcycle, disrespect it, take a picture on it with another officer? And he holds this picture up and he's got the picture.
Yeah.
And Matt is bright red. So Greg Terry, your chief of police,
Yeah.
he was on the desk behind me, and he was crawling under this desk like it's a earthquake drill, right? And he's trying to make his way. He's moving the chair, and it was so obvious. Ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah.
It was so obvious that Captain Jackson's like, Greg, how about a little respect here? He comes flying out of there like he just saw a rattlesnake, right? And he sits in his chair. He sits up, and so he continues to rip Matt's ass, and he goes to Tico, and he goes, "You don't even ride motorcycles." And so he's just totally clowning him, right? And then he turns to me, and I'm knee deep in a cupcake because again, I think they're for us,
Yeah.
and it was good. And he goes, then somebody has the audacity to steal my cupcakes that I had out here for the Baker to Vegas fundraiser that I was trying to sell. And he looks directly at me. I got frosting on my face, and I had passed them out, so they were sitting there waiting for other people to eat them. And we're melting. Like our career's over.
Yeah.
Like this time in SEU was great, but it's done.
We had a good run, guys.
Yeah, we had a good run. It lasted a few months, but nice knowing you. And so nobody's saying a word. Donnie was our sergeant, and so the captain leaves, and Donnie goes, "Don't say a word," because he's probably standing out there listening. And we're like, "So what's going to happen?" I stole his cupcakes. Matt's on his motorcycle. Like what's going to happen? Greg's trying to run away from him. And so bang, 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 bang on the door again. And Donnie goes, "Don't say anything. Open the door." And so somebody opens the door and he goes, "And one more thing." He's like, "I got you, mother bleep." And we're like, oh my God. The whole thing was a setup.
Yeah.
Like Donnie knew that the picture had been taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and the captain were really good friends. And we'd go back and forth like playing pranks on one another all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And this was like, he got us. Yeah. He got us really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was,
That's hilarious.
I didn't ever think I'd see a future chief of police trying to hide under the desk. Like he thought he was going to get away with it too. And he got called out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was in the gang unit, we were briefing a search warrant, and Ryan, he was the officer. There was the case agent, and it was his warrant. And he had put, I can't remember, it was some picture he printed. It was like some funny picture. It was like some silly thing he put on the back of the packet at the end, and or he was going to, and they were on the printer. And I think he was a captain at the time, but he was our AC and then later our chief. And he walked in and he picks it up off the printer and he sees it. And he like says to the whole office, we're all in there, and he's just like, chews everyone's ass. This is unprofessional, blah, 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 going off about all mad, sets it down, and he walks out. And then the lieutenant of the unit was in there and saw this, and he's like, Ryan, get in my office. And he goes in his office, they go in there, the door
Which
shuts.
is never good when the lieutenant calls you in. Yeah.
Right, so the door shuts behind him, and as soon as the door shuts and he's in the ripping his ass, the other door opens back up, and the captain comes back in. He's like, "I'm just kidding, guys. That's hilarious." But like,
So he's getting his ass chewed.
He's getting his ass chewed as he's like saying, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I don't care."
Oh my God.
But it's pretty funny because
That's good timing.
Yeah, the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. And then you had another one. You want to talk to us about Orban Love?
Oh yeah. This is a more serious story. You know.
He hired me when I was going through the process. He was like on my interview panel. Yeah, so.
Yeah, he worked in IA for a long time, and anytime that we knew that we were getting him as the detective investigating us, it was like, oh,
yeah,
because pretty easy to get when, he didn't always ask the right questions.
Yeah.
I guess. yeah. So anyways, if you don't know Orban, he was a veteran guy, was a sergeant before he left us, and he was in charge. Remember I told you I was a school resource officer? Mm-hmm. Talk about probably one of the lowest points in my career, personally. No dig on school resource officers because there's a place for them.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't think it was for me.
It wasn't your your bag.
Where I had come from.
Yeah.
I looked at it like, oh, I shouldn't be here. Yeah. But, I took it in stride and I actually learned a lot. It was kind of rewarding. But Orban was one of our sergeants. Mm-hmm. And one day, another patrol officer gets in a pursuit of a stolen car. And we had already done our little school stuff. We'd given our presentations. And we would just kind of patrol after that. We were just kind of extra patrol officers. And so we followed the pursuit up, weren't right behind it, but very close. Mm-hmm. And the guy crashes like a university in Columbus, and it's like apartment complexes are all around there, big ones. And foot pursuit ensues. And during the foot pursuit, the suspect cranked off a couple of rounds at the officer as he was chasing him. And he was pretty close. So Mike backs off.
I was in the academy, I believe.
Yeah, Mike backs off, sets a perimeter. And we get there, within probably 20 seconds of him getting shot at. It was really quick, and it was me and two other guys. Mm-hmm. So Mike's like, I last saw him right here, and I had just gotten my AR-15, and when you get an AR-15, like you think you're really cool.
And they were pretty rare at that time.
Yeah, they didn't just give them to anybody.
Rifles. Yeah.
It wasn't like your M4s now where it's got all these high-speed sights. It was iron sights,
Oh, yeah.
A2s.
Yeah, the coolest thing it had was a collapsible, stock.
Collapsible stock.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've got that thing slung because I'm cool.
Yeah.
And I'm in the front of the stack, and so we're searching, and we come around the corner of this apartment, and right at the same time, this guy's coming out of his apartment, and he turns and looks, and he looks like he just saw the devil. He's white as a ghost. Mm-hmm. And so, those times in law enforcement where you just know, you just know you're right about something. Like, for some reason, I just knew that dude was in that apartment.
Yeah.
And he walks up, and I didn't even say, is the guy in there? I said, where's he at? And he hands me his keys, and he goes, he's in the back bedroom. And it was like one of those little scrunchy keychains, the elastic ones. Yeah. And I put it around my wrist, and I said, okay, let's go. We were going in.
There you go.
I don't know if it was the exigency was kind of there. It was pretty close in time.
You're in hot pursuit. Whether or not you're going to go inside is a different story.
Jenkins.
Yeah. So we were going in. Probably not the most tactically sound decision I ever made in my life.
And no judgment. I've made plenty of bad choices myself.
Yeah, but you know what? That dude shot at our friend.
Yeah.
So we were going to go in there and we were going to get him, and his actions were going to dictate how we responded. And he already started off on a bad foot by shooting at Mike. So so we're walking up, what you SWATies would call the one side, and we would have kind of button hooked into the door, and so we're coming up that wall, and I feel a literal tug on my shirt collar, and I looked up, and it's Orban, and if you know Orban or you've ever seen a picture, he's always smiling. He's got this big, huge, bright white smile. And he's smiling at me and he says, Gary, we're going to back off and we're going to wait for SWAT. And you can imagine, like, we were so fired up, like we were going to go in there in this. You can imagine how mad we were.
Yeah.
But, okay, you're the boss. It pulls me back and I go set up on a rooftop because one of the snipers called and said, hey, find me a spot, where I've got good line of sight. And this was like perfect, 30 yards to the door. We had this place surrounded. So as we're up there and during this like standoff before SWAT can mobilize, the guy's shooting rounds off from the inside of the house. He would see somebody move outside the back window.
Were you shooting like out the windows?
Yeah. And so what he had done was he went in the back bedroom and he took the mattress off the bed and propped it up against the window. And he was down on the bottom of it between the mattress and the wall, waiting. So this thing goes on for a while, and finally he comes out a few times, and there's a SWAT stack like ready to make entry, and he points a gun, then he goes back in, and they're saying this on the radio, and we're like, man, they're gonna zipper him up like anytime. Well, finally he came out again. The sniper had told his spotter, like, he comes out again, like, I'm taking the shot. And so from the command post, we hear the shot go off, and then it's just chaos, flashbangs and breaking glass and dudes screaming. And so anyways, they take him into custody, and the round had hit the door jamb right at eye level, and it splintered the door jamb. I mean, a quarter of an inch the other way, and the dude would have been, done.
Yep.
But that door jamb saved him. And they found the gun. He put it in the freezer. But yeah, so the whole point to that story is to say Orban saved my life that day. Probably the lives of the other guys too. Serious injury or death for sure, because that guy had the advantage.
Oh yeah.
He was hell-bent on getting one of us, and I would have been the first one in there because, I made the decision. I had the shiny AR-15, and, he would have got one of us for sure. But yeah, I hope Orban's kids get a chance to hear this, because I know that they know who he was at home. But I want them to know like who he was at work and like who he was specifically to me. I haven't told that story many times, but yeah, it's when you
that was
think
definitely
about
the right move.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I could see myself, especially a younger officer, kind of getting out over my skis and wanting to get in there and go handle business.
And thankfully he was like an older, more experienced sergeant, because a young sergeant might have said, yeah, rock on, I'm going in with you, right?
Yeah.
And that just would have went all kinds of bad.
Yeah, he made the right call. That's awesome. Nice. Nick, do you got any questions for Gary?
Nope.
All right. Well, Gary, thank you for coming out and talking to us.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for listening, and stay frosty.